again, welcome to my channel. Alan, retired in the Philippines. The topic today is, can an LDR, which is long distance relationship, can it actually work for you? Now, before I start my video, I'm going to let you know that my wife and I are going to start live streaming every Sunday, 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which would be the East Coast there of the States. There's a 12-hour difference, so for the ones in the Philippines, that'll be Monday morning, 9 a.m. That'll be our first live stream. We're going to do it every week and see how it goes. We met a lot of people so far on the internet and like to keep it going. Okay, LDR, let's get to it. Now, what prompted this is I was watching a live stream of two famous YouTubers, and I replied on there. Been here 28 months and been married for 27 months, and I don't know if they're just being humorous or whatever, but the comments was not very pleasing that I got in return. Now, everybody's situation is different, you know. Actually, I was kind of shocked because these are really good people, you know. Let's put it this way. Let's start out by saying it is very possible to have a long distance relationship work. Let me tell you my example, and I know many others that did the same thing, you know. I met my wife online. It's an old social media site, and not an actual dating site. Well, it kind of turned into a dating site. You know, totally free. And we had a 4.5-year LDR during the pandemic. And I'm 70, she's 68. We pretty much know how the game works, okay? Now, when you join each other on Facebook or other social media sites, you know, you have to learn to watch for the red flags, you know, and all the green flags too. Now, if a woman joins you on Facebook and she's willing to introduce you to her kids, her family, aunts and uncles, even her church members or her pastor and all that, you know, what are the chances are that she's trying to scam you? Not very good. She's very, very serious, you know, being very transparent. So what I loved about the Philippines is that they still have the old-fashioned, you know, marriage values and all that. And like I said before, my other videos they have no divorce here in this country, and adultery laws are very strict. So in my mind, if a woman gets serious with you, they're more apt to go in at full force and to do everything in their power to make it work. You know, it's not like in the States where they can divorce you, you know, for a couple $100 a few months later and move on to the next, you know. So excuse me. So it'll increase your chances well over 50%. You know, they say do boots on the ground first. You know, meet them in person. Well, when you talk with them in video call after 4 or 5 years, you get to know each other pretty darn well if you do it every day that we did. You know, you learn enough about on a person by doing that. There's nothing wrong with meeting boots on the ground, but you know, at our age, every year, every month counts. Tomorrow's not promised. You know, I wanted to line something up ahead of time. I wanted to meet a girl when I got here and have plans for the future, And I went against everybody's advice, even setting budgets to build us a small house and everything, Um, and it's been working out great for us. Now, uh, there's not many expats in this province where I live at. It's very, very, very few. And we have a group meeting once a month for coffee. And each one of them is my neighbor. He's from America. He met a wonderful girl in Malaysia, and she's from the Philippines. She was an OFW. And he worked overseas too, and they were working together, and they started a relationship. And then she come back to the Philippines, and they continue long distance relationship because he went to different countries because that was his job, and that went on for like over 8 years, and he's finally here for good now. So there's a success story. There's another one. They meet in Africa, an OFW. Hello. Wait. Oh, that was one of my nephews. Okay. Or grandkid, I should say. Anyhow, they meet in Africa, and then she came home, and he continued working to Afghanistan and other places. He worked for U.S. government, and they had an LDR for many years, and he finally came here to retire fully. And from what I've seen, it's working out for everybody. Well, I don't understand. They say, when you come here to the Philippines, don't marry the first girl that you meet. Well, if you have an LDR, with your intentions, why not, I didn't come here to play with other girls and date everybody. They say, do boots on the ground, date many as you can before you decide and all that and everything. Well, that don't make sense in my book. For example, let's say you're back in your own country and you're riding a bus. You meet a nice girl on the bus. She lives in Florida. You live in New York. You spend a few days together and you develop a relationship. In LDR. If I'm living in New York, should I go to Florida? To Miami? Should I do boots on the ground and be dating lots of girls there in Miami before I decide on this one? You got to think outside the box. You got to do what's going to work for you. Whatever it is that you want, you go for it. But I don't like being judged or ridiculed by my decision that worked for me and other people that worked really good for them. But in my mind, your chances are much better getting to know the person first, because boots on the ground, you got to start from the beginning. When you meet a girl, you got all these questions. You got to go through the whole process again, and you wasted an awful lot of time before you develop a relationship. But again, that's your choice. Whatever works for you is good. Excuse me again. Can't get rid of this cold. Anyhow, I lost train of thought. What I'm trying to say is, be careful what you hear from other YouTubers. You do what's right for you, what feels good to you, what your full intentions are. Like I said, you can meet a lot of good women here. This one viewer says, you have to learn for red flags. That's the bottom line. You got to be streetwise. Play it smart. Verify everything that goes on. I had one viewer tell me, well, I was online and to a nice girl, and as soon as she asked me what I did for work, he blocked her. I go, why'd you do that? Because she might be after my money. I said, no. It's very common. In your own country, if you date a woman, isn't it common for them to ask you, what kind of work do you do? My wife asked me, it's no problem, I'm just a simple farm operator, machine operator, tractors, combines, you name it. But and luckily she was a farmer too, so that we had an instant connection. And plus, every woman wants security. They want to know if you're going to be able to provide for them. They're not going to waste your time for years on an LDR if you're not going to be able to provide for them. It's very hard for these people to survive here. It's a developing country. They even go to college for many years just to get a degree, and then when they come out, jobs are very scarce, and they end up working at a grocery store or whatever, and they only make $10 a day. Of course they're going to ask you. So don't take that as a red flag. And plus on Facebook. Anyhow, I told that guy, you could have missed the woman of your dreams just because, she asked you what you make, But what I'm trying to say is, just try not to take everybody's advice. I don't like it when expats come here and call these women gold diggers and they're after your money and this and that and everything. If you're dumb enough to let them take from you, that's your own damn fault. Don't tell everybody that you got scammed and this and that. I feel like I have to defend these women. It's a fascinating culture. They love their old traditional values, especially province women. Don't judge them all like that. Don't come here and attack them. Before you come here, didn't you get taken by your ex-wife, as I hear from the stories and stuff? So if you come here and get taken, well, that's your own fault. I'm not being cold-hearted. It's just a true fact. My grandfather always said, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. And I kind of live by that. But okay, I'll make this video short, and I'll move on. And just a reminder, we're going to start live streaming every Sunday night, 9 o'clock Eastern time, which will be Monday morning, 9 o'clock a.m. Just do your charts there, and I just hope that you join us on our live stream, and we'll talk more in depth about this topic. And love to hear your opinions and feedback and questions and answers and everything. Okay, you all have a good one, and I hope to see you soon. Bye-bye.